A good evening to you. I want to welcome you to my live stream. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and here we are to fight CPS and stop taking our children. I'm on a little bit earlier tonight. I had requested to be on at 4, but they gave me a window of 3 o'clock. Normally, I'm on at 7 o'clock, and I'm on every day of the week in the mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on the weekends at 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. In the evenings, I'm on Monday through Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. These are 1 hour live streams, and I'm broadcast this on YouTube using the StreamYard application. And I'm from Southern California, Surf City, USA, 3 blocks from the beach. And I'm here to help you with your CPS case. Now, when I use the word CPS, I mean the Child Protection System. Every county, every state will have a name for its child protection system. Some are the same, some are different. There may be 500 different names, and at this time, it's too complicated to say which one. So if I say CPS, I mean the Child Protection System in your county or your state. Now, the purpose of this child protection system was mandated by Congress in the early 60s that social services should form a group of social workers to protect our children from neglect and abuse. This is mandated by Congress to protect our children. Over the years, over 300 years, there's been a lot of abuse of children. It's had different forms in different time periods. And I know that CPS recognizes 3 time periods from the early colonial days of the 1600s up to 1875 when they were settling the Native American Indians onto reservations and taking the children away and putting them off into private schools and cutting their hair, and so they no longer can follow their culture or their language or wear their clothing. It's a sad tragedy back in the 1870s and so forth. A lot of good people. They were the first immigrants to North America, came via the Asian land bridge in Alaska. And they settled in Alaska. That's where you get the Eskimos. And then they're in Canada. And they are called the First Nation people. And in the United States, they're called Native American Indians. Anyway, that period from 1875 to 1962 was the second period. And during that time, there's a lot of attempts made by societies to take care of the children and so forth. There were sweatshop working conditions that are unfit for children, and things like that would arise. So there's a long history in here. And then in 1962 is when CPS originates. And then in 1974, they put laws that are enforceable. They're actually neglect and abuse laws, and how we, address the children and so forth. Now, I again give a warm welcome because this is an area that is really hard to work with. It's really, really hard to work with. Now, this is international live stream throughout the world. Anybody that has internet can tune into it. And we've had about 21 countries call in and talk, and many of them several times called in. We had, South Africa, country code 27. We had England, country code 44. And so we've had a lot of interest and a lot of help here, because what you're faced with is an overwhelming battle, something that you're dealing with rogue CPS agencies. Not all CPS is bad, but it's hard to tell the good from the bad. It's hard to tell the good from the bad. The same goes for foster care system. And somehow this entity, this child protection system entity, is able to traffic our children into foster care, steal our children, alienate. Alienate and traffic is illegal practices. You don't alienate your spouse from your children. You don't alienate. That's wrong. And they do that a lot. The CPS systems do. Now, I've talked to over 1,000 people, and these people from all around the world. I start off with Indonesia, and then I go to Bangladesh, then India, and then I go up to Middle East, and I've had calls from Saudi Arabia and Libya. Then over to Africa, I've had Liberia and Sudan and Rwanda and Mozambique. And then the country of South Africa, I've had several provinces there. Then we go up to Europe, England, Scotland, and Wales, and Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond to North America, I've had 4 provinces in Canada. And I have a lot of people call in from Canada too. In the United States, all 50 states I've heard from. Some I've heard more from the same state, and including the District of Columbia. I've heard from them too. Then south of the border, it's been Mexico. Then further south in South America, north of Brazil, on the East Coast is Grenada. And then we go across the South Pacific to New Zealand, and then further south to land down under Australia. So that's quite a diverse group of people. If you take all the United States people, everything, it's over 1,000. And a lot of them, their children were taken unnecessary. A lot of them had their termination, the rights to their kids. It's horrible. And one of the biggest problems have, and everybody's stumbling blocks, is they seem to prey on low income or people that misfortunately lost their job or had their home washed away or through a tornado or a fire. You know, we have so many disasters, and the child protection system seems to prey on people that are having disasters. They make it worse. You know, the child protection system, you know, is mandated by Congress to protect our children, but it's also mandated by Congress to do family reunification, to bring the children back together, to stabilize the parents or correct the problems that the parents exhibit. Because studies have proven the best kind of parents are the biological parents to raise their kids. So it's really, really, really important. Now, I want to put some banners up, and the first one I'm going to put on is the Sandstorm, the Stand Store. Now, that is a website. It's https //stand.store/attorney VWD. And it's really important that you check out that site because there's a lot of consulting work that Mr. Davis does. 1 hour example, 4 or 5 hours, and the prices are all there and posted. Now, I mentioned my attorney, Mr. Davis. He's the one that put together this live stream. I want to thank him for being the kind of attorney he is. He does more extra work, helping other people. And he really wants to help and save children like I do. I've done this because I too was a victim of CPS. I had my children wrongly accused. Well, not my children, but had the mom and dad, me and my wife, wrongly accused. And our children were taken when they weren't in imminent danger. They were put into more danger when they were taken from us. They experience physical harm and mental harm while they're in the CPS system. Foster care was not kind to them. It was horrific what they went through. And of course, how I got involved was really bizarre. Unfortunately, in 2010, which is about 15 years ago, I lost my career job. And so I've been trying to find work. And I've had some success. But when I lost it in 2010, the summer of 2010, I didn't panic because I thought I could find other work. Plus, I had money saved up. But they did not foresee that my wife, my in-laws, my wife's mother, father, 3 sisters, and a brother would call in on a weekly basis from Ohio to California and make claims that we weren't taking care of our children. False claims. They never liked me as the husband of my wife. We were married I mean, I have 42 years of marriage experience. And when we got married, they didn't show up to the wedding. Her sister lived in here, wouldn't show up. And we went to her wedding and her husband later when she had one. We went to other sister's wedding. Her brother was already married when I met my future wife. But we're very supportive of family. And when we got together, I treated them nice. I have no idea why they hated me so bad. But they hated not only me, but their daughter. And so we had to go through this painstaking accusation week after week, month after month, year after year. This went on for 5 years. And finally, CPS got tired and decided to get the police involved and have a detective track me down. He found out where I was. He had me pulled over by a black and white with a false traffic citation. And if I knew what I knew now, I would have told him, give me the citation. I need to go. I'm not going to show you my house. I'm not going to let you in my house. And I'm not going to further speak to you. I need to get my attorney present. When my attorney's present, then we can talk. That's the whole key to success. You need to emphasize you need your attorney present because you're going to go through really bad accusations. They're going to be ridiculously untrue because you're dealing with an agency that is corrupt. They're not transparent. They lie, they retaliate, and they do it all for money. Money has got a hold of them. It's $1 trillion business that the rogue CPS are involved in. They make tons of money off your children. The money frees fully from the federal government to the state and from the state government to the county. All they do is ask. They don't have to be accountable for the money. And so when they call into the state because they got a case, they get a case number and then it starts the money. Like in my case, and my 3 kids, each of them, the CPS system there in Orange County, California was getting $20,000 per child per month. That's $60,000 that they're getting to supposedly take care of our children, which they weren't. They weren't. And what usually happens is you get these accusations, and like a fool, I allowed them into my home. I talked to them. That was no. And I even let them take my children. Again, that's the third no. When you encounter policemen who are supposed to protect the social workers, but the social workers use them for intimidation. So when you count the social workers and the policemen, you be courteous to them, you get their name and info about them, but you said you need to have your attorney present, and you can only talk with your attorneys present. They'll respect them. If they're good CPS workers, they'll respect that. They'll respect that. And then what you do is you get a hold of your attorney. Now, here's the problem that most of you have, the kicker. I don't have an attorney, and I didn't. Plus, you don't know what to do when you're first contacted by CPS. I'm telling you, if you have any initial contact with CPS, don't answer your door. Just the other night, there was a triple knocks. I don't know who it was. I came after my live stream, looked outside. There was nothing there. I thought maybe it was Amazon Prime or somebody delivering something. But nothing. Nothing you should let them in the door. Too many people are being wrongly accused and killed by opening the door. I mean, killed. There's a black airman, in Gainesville, Florida, that the Gainesville Sheriff Department came to his front door of his apartment. He opened the door and 5 pops went off, and the black airman, who was only in his 20s, died while talking to his fiancée on the phone. That was a mistaken place. But the sheriff was fired, and now he's being sued. But being sued or fired is not going to bring the life back. So that's a warning. There's also a black lady in L.A. that had the sheriff in her place doing some investigation, and he didn't like the way the lady was talking to him, so he shot her in the face 5 times as she was washing dishes. 5 times. So I'm telling you, there are incidents all the time happening. You just don't open the door. You were taught a very valuable lesson when you're real young. Do not talk to strangers. CPS is a stranger. The police are the stranger. You don't know. You don't know them. If you don't know them, you need to have legal representation. In your civil rights and your constitutional rights, you're entitled to representation through your proceedings in a criminal matter. This is a criminal matter. You're being charged for either neglect or abuse. Some examples of neglect are not having proper clothing for the children. Like it's cold outside, it's wintertime, they don't have a jacket. Not bathing them, not helping them brush their teeth, not taking them to school, not supervising. When you have children run around, you let them run around wild outside, and you're not supervising. That's neglect. Now, types of abuse are mainly physical abuse, but they can be verbal abuse. There's a lot of mental things. When you argue in front of your kids, you're doing something really bad to them. You do not argue in front of your kids. I know it's hard. The emotions run up and everything, but what you need to do, one of you has got to be stronger and walk out the door and go for a walk. Then come back after 15 minutes and talk to each other. Talk it through. This also is true in the workplace. Too many anger at work, and like at the postal place, they shoot people dead. So I'm telling you, time out. That's what they do in football games, in soccer games, or whatever the sport is, rugby, whatever. They have a thing called a timeout. That's where you stop and you reevaluate where you're at and what you need to do. That's what you need to do when two parents are arguing from the kids, because that's verbal abuse. Also, shouting at children, pushing them, slamming them against the wall, hitting them in the face, hitting them with a frying pan, hitting them with a stick or a cord, in that kind of action. Excessive physical force. They've been caught using a belt and spanking the child. Using a belt and spanking the child. I know you mean well, or how you're brought up, maybe things are, but timeouts are the best thing for children and for parents. Also with children, when you do a timeout, make sure you regroup so they know what they did wrong. Too many parents will do a timeout, and then after 10 minutes or 15 minutes, all right, your time's up, your timeout's over. They don't know what they did. You need to have them discuss it with you. They'll know what they did. So timeouts are really a good, effective method for both adults and children. So you don't want to let them in your home. You don't want to even talk to them, because everything you say be used against them. I opened my mouth and stuck my foot in my mouth. You don't want to open the door. And on top of that, you don't want them in your house. They're looking, they're investigating. They want to find something that they can get you on. Don't trust them. Again, it's so easy. If you're in the house, don't answer the door. If you're in the yard, tell them you want to get your attorney present and you get back to meet with them. Don't meet with them at the office or in your home. Meet with them at a neutral place where you can document with pictures and photos and videos, like Starbucks or the library or McDonald's. Those are 3 easy places to meet. It's a neutral site. To meet at their office is a good chance your children are taken that day. And when you meet with them, you don't want to have your children with you. You have them in school. That's where my 3 children were. But they took them out of school. Didn't explain to them what's going on. My children were at that time 9, 12, and 15. And they're good children. There's nothing wrong with the Pace family, except the dad had lost a job and he's struggling to make payments. Now, I'm going to put another stream on. And this one here is Vincent Davis's office. He has a website, and it's called https:// VincentWDavis.com. VincentWDavis.com. Now, that's his home site. And I'll take that on for a moment. Now, I notice that we have a comment in the room, and that's good. Let's see what it is. Liliana Filiancio, and you're twice in here, or 3 times. Wow. I had to do some catch up here, Liliana Feliciano. I do need to put in how we do, um, how we text, uh, the format that I like you to use and so forth. Well, Liana started at, oh boy, she started at 3:19. And she said, "Hello, how are you?" And I'm just great. I'm glad to meet you, Liana. Welcome to the family here. I'm on twice a day. You can see me 7 days a week. I found out from above CPS that CPS closes the case as quickly, removed and closed the case. I guess December 31st is when the case was closed, and January 8th CP. Oh, they I guess that CPS closed at 12. I don't know if they. I guess they removed your children in December 31st, and 8 days later, they closed the case. They never mailed me no findings or anything concerning the case. And then I found out from the case that no removal of kids. But where the kids are, they don't let me speak to them with whatsoever, and lied out lies involved. These people know that there's no court order involved, and they make it seem like I'm a bad parent and will let me speak to my children. Um, Attorney told me. Now, Liliana, where are you from? I put on my screen here, when you call in, make sure you put your name and your city or county, and then if you're from, and your state. If you're from another country, put your country. Also, please tell me about your case. Try to be as complete as you can. You're from Houston, Texas. Okay, glad to meet you from Houston, Texas. Yes, I've been charged for neglect, abuse, etc. But the things you are mentioning is what they got me for as well. Oh boy, removed and closed the case in a week. No, there's something wrong. And again, I don't know. I see it from Houston, Texas. I don't know if you have a court appointed attorney or you got an attorney yourself. It's very, very, very important that you get your own um, attorney, attorney that's trained in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, not a criminal attorney. Criminal attorneys don't know how to deal with this kind of matter. The court appointed attorney or public defender you get is not the right kind of attorney. Not the right kind of the attorney. And I'm so sorry for you, Liliana, but I think you have a court appointed attorney. I don't think, or a public defender, I don't think you hired an attorney. Because my rule number one, it says you need to hire an attorney. Why? Because CPS is so corrupt. Not all of them, but the ones out there, it's hard to tell the difference between the good ones and the bad ones. But you need to hire an attorney that will help fight for you and help win back your children. Just like open heart surgery. You're not going to do open heart surgery yourself. You're not going to have a layperson do it. You're going to hire a professional doctor. Well, CPS is just like open heart surgery. It's very tricky, it's very tough, it's very emotional, and you'll think there's no winning thing, is there? CPS is bad, but it varies from state to state and county to county and from country to country. Now, another way you can interact with this podcast is you can be a guest on my live stream. And so I still have the website up. In fact, I'm going to change that to another thing that we have you join. We would like very much for you also to help support us by joining the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, CPS Defense Strategies Consultant Vince Davis. Now, for $1.99, you get a newsletter. I have a lot of worthwhile information in there. Well, I have my newsletter articles, and I'll have Vincent Davis's newsletter articles. Also, I'll have interviews of myself or Vincent Davis about our lives, our involvement with CPS. Mr. Davis was a foster kid, and he's been fighting CPS for 39 years. And he knows how to fight and win. He's got back thousands of children. He's also done civil lawsuits, both in state court and federal court, won back millions of dollars. He's the real deal out there. And if you really need an attorney, he's one of them that you should consider. You need to find 3 attorneys. You need to get 3 quotes so you know you're getting the best deal. You start off by identifying the attorneys, and you ask them 2 questions. Well, you really start off with the internet, and you search, and it's important with the right search of words. Now, my rule number 4 talks about using the internet to find out about CPS. You want to put the city, the state, followed by the letters CPS, and you'll see lots of things popped out. If you want to be more specific, after the letters of CPS, put down the ICWA law of 1978 or the 388 motion, how to file to do like that. You be more specific, it'll come to you. That's how the internet is geared to us. It's important that you start out with the city, the state, and if you're from another country, put your country. But put the letters CPS. Furthermore, if you want to refine it, put what you're looking for. Like I'm looking for an attorney. I'm looking for a juvenile law, family law, dependency law attorney to fight CPS. And if you have that, you'll find all the other people in your city. And then what you're going to do is you're going to interview 3 of them. Now, one of them I already got for you. His name is Vincent W. Davis. And you can talk to him. There's a way you can talk to him for free or for 30 minutes for a small fee or for an hour for another fee. So there's lots of ways to talk to Mr. Davis. Now, I don't want to be sitting here doing all the talking because this is an interactive podcast. Now, I don't know why my banners keep dropping off, but the second way of being a guest is a good way. You get a chance to talk to me and you'll be able to talk about your case. All you have to do is email my show producer, Grace. Grace is located at Vincent W. Davis, and that's where her email is. And what you do is you send an email of one of my 14 shows you want to be on. All you do is say morning or afternoon or evening. And you can say, that's about it. And then she's going to send you back the link. You copy and paste the link on StreamYard, and you're good to go. If you happen to get knocked off, use that same link again. And then you can ask anything regarding CPS. Okay? Anything regarding CPS. Now, another way to get into this live stream is you can call me. I have my number up now, 626-698-0990. That's my office number. I use Vonage. You don't have to have Vonage. And I use the internet-based phone application. And I'm glad that we still talk. It's so important because I know what's going through your mind. You're with an entity that you don't understand or how to resolve or how to fight against. And I'm sorry you come out that way. We weren't born with CPS manuals. I wish when life skills ever return that they could start talking about CPS in your early years because children will know if to get involved, what to expect. And as they get older, you kind of conduce it to more where it should be. But It is a very difficult subject matter to be involved in. Now, whether you call in or on my show as a guest, you're entitled to a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. That's a private Zoom call, and he will talk to you. You must make a list of questions, prioritize them, and ask him. He's not a clock watcher. He will help you. He will help you. So I'm leaving my phone number up. I got to tell you about another ticket that'll be going across the screen. And this is a ticket about having more time with Vincent. If you want 30 minutes, 30 minutes, it'll only cost you $60. It's only $60 for 30 minutes. And he will help you with your case, and you ask him, and you got to make your 5 minutes very productive. So have your questions ready for him. Okay, so my phone number is up there. The other number on the screen, 888-888-6582, is the law office of Vincent W. Davis. When you call in, make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And there you can contact Vincent Davis. His rate is $500 an hour, and for LA County, his retainer rate is $5,000. But a lot of it depends on how long the case has been going on and how difficult the case is. Now it gets more expensive as he goes, in Northern California, Southern California, because now, he needs air transportation. He needs ground transportation and a hotel and a place to eat. That's additional to his legal fees. That's called per diem. And every state, he can adjust the per diem to the correct amount. And by the way, retainer doesn't mean the money's gone. It just means he has money to work with, because attorneys don't like to have one signed up for a couple $100 and then be nagging them every week. We need more money. We need more money to do the case. Now, I'm happy I found this room, but I also want to answer questions. I don't like to do all this talking. It can be very, very hard on you. Now, I have some more messages here from Liliana Fiesiani from Houston, Texas. And Liliana, if you want to get on the show, you can email her. Now, the attorney told me that I can get my kids, and I went to complain to the OCA Consumer Affairs complaint of child welfare, and he looked at my case and said they closed my case. They never appointed me one for me, and never did a court order concerning the welfare of the kids. That is sad, and that CPS system sounds very corrupt in Houston, Texas. I want to thank the hearts of y'all. Thank you, Liliana Fiasiano. And thank you, Shawash Guerrier and Mary Maxim Arguin. Thank you. That's 3 hearts. That warms my heart. And thank you for the thumbs up, too. I had 2 thumbs up. And I really appreciate the input you still get there. So we're talking, answering Liliana's things. The attorney, she jumps around. I'm still getting email from the kids' school. They never got the kids' medical records because my son gets seizures and he has an appointment on July, and they didn't get the records from the hospital. Well, hopefully you have the records too. It's very important you have the own medical records. There's nothing to be sorry about in this room. Nothing at all, Liliana. I just know that you're hurting and been fighting him. I don't know how long you've been fighting or, where you at on your case. But I'm glad to hear from you. And you can email Grace to be a guest on our show. You can email her, and she'll gladly put you on the show. Now, I know this may have been a long day for you, and some of you may have just come home from work. Fighting CPS is like you being in Alice in Wonderland in the rabbit hole trying to find your way out. Allison meets the Chester Cat, and the Chester Cat sends her to one room, and that room sends her to another room. And suddenly she's in different rooms where they get to a point where off with their head. So I'm telling you, sit it out, and then you can talk about it. A lot of times some people are emotional, and it's really hard not to be emotional because this is a tragic thing that happened to me. Well, thank you, Liliana. I appreciate your kind words too. I care. When I had my case, I had 3 of my young children. I had 6 children I've helped raise, 3 older and 3 younger. And the young ones were still at home, and they were ripped from me. They were taken without being in danger. Now, we had right away, I requested a meeting to do the sun where they're going to be, where they temporarily take your kids. And I gave them a list of names. So some of the names were out of state. And at first they said, oh, we can't go out of state. Yes, they can. You can take your children anywhere. As someone watch them or take care of them while you're going through this difficult matter with CPS. I know, Barkley. Barkley is somebody new here. I think he may have been here before. I don't know where you're from, Barkley, but I know it's tearing you up in your heart. After 5 years of fight, it still tears me up. My children were stolen in 2015. I lost my home because of CPS. My home, I had to do a quick sale to get the money to hire an attorney. And I could not get easily hired again because of CPS. My life has been turned upside down. And the hard part is you don't get your years back. You don't get your years back. At age 60, I was laid off through no fault. At age 65, my 3 young children were stolen from me and my wife. At age 75, which I'm now today, I'm a dinosaur, but I'm still healthy and still want to work and still try to get a job there. So you just called the crisis line. I'm glad you did, Barkley. I know it's hard. You can call in here. My number's up here. I don't mind talking to you either. I seem to have a knack for talking to people. Now, I have listed children by Feliciano, I think. She says she has 3 older kids, 16, 18, and my son is turning 19. Well, when he turns 19, he can leave CPS's hands and return to you. The young ones just turned 11th and 17. Well, hang on to them because they're going to try to take them. They're precocious years. They're teenagers, and teenagers are really having a hard time in life, let alone worry about CPS. And Leon says, I'm still getting emails from the kids' schools. They never got the kids' medical records because my son gets seizures. So your son's a special need child. He has an appointment in July, and they don't get the records from the hospital. Okay, Mary, thank you. I really appreciate your words. Okay. They are a boy and girl, Liliana. They're twins. Okay. And Berkeley, that's okay. You're from Montana. I know another person from Montana, Betty Joe. She's a sweet foster mom there. Um, and you say, gosh, oh my gosh. No, you don't. I don't what? I don't what, Bartley? I don't what? Liliana, that's so sad. It hurts me hearing that. Liliana further says the older kids were never removed, just the twins. The older kids are with dad. Sorry, my internet is messing up. It's okay, Liliana. But some of you don't realize this is an example of what CPS workers are. My social worker was caught committing perjury under oath in trial. And she lied about the the parents that want to adopt our young child, our girl. And Attorney Davis is very crafty, and he's able to get it out there because he had done some investigation and found out that the my wife's um, sister and her husband had domestic violence, and he searched up and found all kinds of reports. And he first asked the social worker, "Are they good parents?" And the social worker said, "Yes, they're great parents." And then the social worker asked, "Wow, it's hard to think about." But anyway, she was caught in court. She committed perjury, and she did retaliation. She told us parents you're never going to see your daughter again. So she had her daughter emancipate from us because in California, at age 12, you can divorce your parents and your family. Not only she divorced her mom and dad, she divorced her three brothers, her two sisters, our aunts and cousins, and her grandparents, two sets of grandparents. It was a sad, tragic thing what she did. And she kept on hitting us with these things she was making our daughter do. Like our daughter was told to seal her birth certificate, no longer honor the old birth certificate, have a new birth certificate. And then she asked for uh, help, and that's where I think I'm at right now. Am I right at that position? Am I at there? I'm trying to think there. Um, they're sending you my phone number. Okay, all right. Um, you can call in, by the way. My number is there, 626-698-0990. Now, my live stream that normally goes at 7 today, it starts at 3. It's over at 4 o'clock because I have a family commitment this evening. So I'm telling you, you got to be careful out there because uh, they're sharks. They're sharks. You know, there was a group of social workers, all females, all white, that worked in Prescott, Arizona, 8 of them. And they decided in 2022, the summer of 2022, by white, by pink T-shirts, and on the front they had stenciled "They're professional child kidnappers," and on the back they put "Parents, you know where your children are at." And they parade around in all the big stores in Prescott. Prescott's only known for the Billy Jack movie and some Indian tribes and so forth. It's very low income in town. All right, Barkley, breathe. Take in there. Okay, we got a phone number coming in. Good evening, and this is Bob Pace. How can I help you?
Barkley.
Hi, Barkley. I'm sorry you're getting messed up, but I'm glad you called in.
I'm glad I did too, sir. I just got off the phone with the crisis line.
Okay.
My son was taken for no reason, like yours were. We were perfectly fine. Somebody made a phone call who doesn't even know me, and they came down and tore my door down January 25th this year. I've only got to see my son 3 hours supervised since the whole time to this present day. The father's up here who's never been in his life, and he just turned 5 in January.
So is the father...
He has supervised visits with them alone right now, and he's tormenting me and sending me pictures of my son and saying terrible things to me. And I don't know how to live without my child, and I didn't do anything wrong, and I won't let them steal my son. And all I can do is just keep praying to Jesus. You know, I don't know how to help it anymore.
Can you get yourself? Do you have access to an attorney?
I do not right now. I just called them, the public defenders who I had, and then found out they switched me to another one. They just told me just a few minutes ago. And I said, nobody told me anything. And I said, you know what, you guys don't care about my son. I said, nobody cares about him but me. And I'm trying to fight for him.
Yeah, I understand that.
I don't know how. I have a friend in Washington State who has offered to pay for an attorney to help me, but I don't know how to find one over here.
Well, it's I can tell you how to find one, and also you're going to be able to talk to me twice a day, every day of the week you want to. So I'm not far from you. So if you need a resource to talk to somebody, I'm here. I'll talk to you during my show times. But
I have absolutely nobody to talk to.
Yeah, I know how hard it is. When it happened to me.
And you know the weird thing is, you know, I'm on a fixed income, okay. And I'm an older mom. I'm almost 50, and he's just turned 5. But oh gosh, I don't know. I'm just going to stress right now.
That's all right. All you need to do is you take a couple of breaths of air, go outside, go for a walk. You'll be fine. It will come together. Okay. It's a tragedy, but it takes time. My case, I had to fight for 3 years. I first fought 5 years for false allegations. And then for 3 years, I fought to have my kids returned. And it does take time. And so, I mean, how did this all start? How it all started
was this.
Okay.
I have 2 other daughters. Okay, they're 32, and the other one will be 18 this year. And
okay.
When Biden was in office with all the stuff, you could be boys can be girls, girls can be boys, and all that, and kids can be entitled and all this. Well, that's what she was doing. She was stealing and everything, and so she was trying to run amok. And so she was making things up that weren't true. And so now, because they took my son for no reason, they're using that against me when nothing happened, anyways. And then when I'm in my 20s, I had a drinking problem, and I did, but I haven't drank since I was 29 years old. You know, and I've turned my life over to Christ the last 3 years, and I mean, I've always known Jesus Christ, but you know, I mean, every day when I wake up, that's the first thing. I mean, because I cannot live without Jesus, because I can't do anything without him, and I don't know how to live without my son. It's ripping me apart, and this man has money, and the thing is, there's the state of Montana is paying his round-trip tickets to come over here, paying his motel, paying his car, his food, and here I sit, and they won't help a damn thing over here. They won't. They said, "What nothing we can do for you."
Who is this man? Who's this man?
Sir.
Is this man the biological father of the children?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, and he raped me last year too. And this is the first time he's ever been alone with them, or the second time now. They just allow him this, but yet I have to be supervised, and I only got 3 hours since January 25th, 25. You know, and then, listen to this. I forgot. They broke his femur bone, the foster parents. He's been in foster care, and then they air flight him out and put a rod in his leg.
Yeah.
And oh my God, he's in a wheelchair, and he's just a little baby, you know. And nobody was holding him. I want to hold my son and comfort him, you know.
I know what you're saying, Barkley.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry you're going through this. It's not a good. It's not a good thing.
The children are the ones that suffer, you know, the children.
Yeah, they do. They do. Now, how long you been married to this guy? How long were you married to this guy?
I never was married to this man. Never married to him.
Well, who's the father of the children?
The father of the man I grew up with, he was 11. I was 12 years old. We grew up as friends until I was 17 in California. And then I moved to take care of my dad up here. And he contacted me January 2nd, 2018. Never would have thought of the man. Started telling me, oh, I love you. We're going to be a family, this and that. And wooed me. And then got me pregnant. And then when I was pregnant, disconnected his number. And then I told him the baby was born. And then I finally said I had to go try to get child support. And then all of a sudden he wants the case dismissed. And I had to go through the paternity thing. For 3.5 years, he put me through it. The attorney out here that I could give her only so much. I think I gave her $3,000 altogether. And I think I owe her like $50,000. But she did ask for 10. And she's like over 85 years old now, and she's very sick. And I texted her today to see if she could think of somebody that maybe she could recommend that would take the case. And I got to fight for my son after listening to you on your, you're losing your home and everything. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I know. It's well, I've lost my home. I've lost my home. I did get my children back, but it cost to sell my home to hire an attorney, and so I had to do it that way.
Right. Okay.
But it's okay. You have God, which is really important.
Yes, it is very important. I don't know because I don't know how it keeps going.
Well, this is what I'm going to tell you. Barkley, I'm going to be on again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, you're from Montana, so you're 3 hours ahead of me. So that's 10 to 11 to 12. It's 1 o'clock tomorrow. But I have to end my show at 4 o'clock. It's 4:01 now. I'm not trying to leave you, but I'll be on again tomorrow at 10 and again at 7. So those are my show times, and you can hear more. Also, listen to all my shows. I have talked about my rules, and I've talked about how to get an attorney. I give very explicit directions of how to get an attorney. So, so you need to look at those. Don't panic. Okay.
I know.
Also,
I'm physically sick too. And
Also, I got good news for you. If you like to talk to a real attorney, I'm not an attorney, but Vincent Davis is. He'll talk to you for a free 15-minute on a Zoom conference call. And you did that by calling in. That's how you qualify for it. So he's told me anybody that calls in or is a guest on my show, it gets a free 15-minute private Zoom consultation with them. All you need to do, and this is really important, the number you call me in, you text at that number your name, your email, and your phone number. And then I'll put you in touch. Yeah, your name, your email, and your phone number. And I'll put you in touch with my show producer, Grace. And she'll schedule a meeting with you and Vincent Davis.
Okay. I have to see your number. Okay. All right. Okay, Bob. Okay.
But hey, anytime you're stressed out, talk to God. Talk to God. Do breathing. Go for walks. I know this is hard. CPS is a bad entity, but I have so many recordings that you can listen to. You can spend hours listening to me talking about the rules, talking what you can do. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you
so
much.
Thank you for calling in. And don't panic. All right? God bless you. And Liliana Fiano from Houston, Texas, thank you. And I hope that I can talk to you again. I'll be on again tomorrow. But I appreciate Liliani and Barkley. Liliani is from Houston, Texas. Barkley is from Montana. And let me see who else we had here tonight. Barkley, Liliani.
And I've been trying. I was thinking about taking this life and everything. This is a little wrong what's happening, and these people need to be stopped. This is not right.
You're right.
This is so wrong.
I know it's wrong. I know it is wrong. I know it's wrong.
Okay. All right. I know you got to end your show. Right. Okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. God bless y'all. This is Bob Pace signing off. Please keep fighting for your kids.